Hagerty is the world's largest provider of specialty insurance for enthusiast vehicles and supports keeping car culture alive through youth programs, the Historic Vehicle Association, the RPM Foundation, and more. Hagerty is home to key programs such as the Hagerty Drivers Club, Hagerty Drive Share, Hagerty Valuation Tools, the Hagerty Drivers Club magazine, and much, much more. For more information, visit their website at hagerty.com. PCA Sim Racing is proud to have Hagerty Motorsports as its 2021 title sponsor.
The California Tour continues tonight as we see the next generation of PCA champions compete here tonight. As we welcome you to Podium Esports coverage of the third event for the Ballast Point Entry League Series live from the virtual Auto Club Speedway on iRacing. Good evening, I am Taylor Burris, and up in the producer's booth we have Ryan Bauer, who's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. We are excited to be here to bring you all of the action on Podium Esports as well as on the PCA's YouTube channel. As always, the PCA Sim Racing Series is brought to you by Hagerty. Since 1984, Hagerty has been the worldwide leader in collector car insurance. Everything they do is geared towards enabling and enhancing the experience of automotive enthusiasts and making sure that the vehicles we all love and the lifestyles that revolve around them don't just survive, but thrive well into the future. Services include the Hagerty Drivers Club, Drive Share by Hagerty, the shop, and much, much more to fuel car culture. Hagerty, let's drive together. Also, we have to say thank you to Ballast Point, is a proud partner to support the PCA Sim Racing Entry League Series. Just like the winners raise their trophies at the finish line, Ballast Point too is lifting its trophy beer, Sculpin IPA. To say cheers to all of you. We're all winners at the racetrack with a Sculpin in hand. Ballast Point is celebrating independence and 25 years of craft beer all year long. Cheers to you and cheers to the drivers in the Ballast Point entry-level series. Well, we want to say good evening to everyone as we are here live from the virtual Auto Club Speedway. We are on the competition road course. This 2.8-mile circuit, 19 turns, will be proved to be a challenging circuit that will test the might of these young up-and-coming drivers in the PCA as they are looking forward to taking on this challenging road circuit. Of course, this road circuit has been utilized not only in PCA competition with their Sim Racing Series, but also home to the California Festival of Speed that the PCA's West Coast Series utilizes on a regular basis as they continue on through here, as well as the home of Grand Am Rolex sports car racing in the early 2000s. Currently, right now, qualifying is just about to wrap up, and with that, we will soon give you your starting lineup for tonight's 30 minutes of action here. As we get ready for warm-up here, this track, though, will provide a unique opportunities for drivers as they will be utilizing the oval configuration from the coming on to the start front straightaway and then working into NASCAR's turns 1 and 2 before utilizing turn 3, a hard braking zone where we'll see a lot of action with these competitors before entering into the infield section of the road course. Warm-up is underway. Drivers are going to get one final few moments to find those braking marks, find the throttle entry points that they can utilize, and also making sure that they can survive for the next 30 minutes here tonight. As the field's working their way through, the one driver everyone is looking at is the winner for the past 2 rounds, car 76, That is James Frasnick, who has been on an absolute dominant effort, winning the last 2 races, with a surprise win happening at the Long Beach Street Circuit, and then a flag-to-flag win at the famous WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, as we will see if he will be able to test his might here at the Auto Club circuit. Currently, you're on board with car number 21. That's from Steve Komatz from the Rocky Mountain region, who is looking to see if he can get a good finishing order from the last few rounds. A couple of other drivers. We have one new driver competing in this series, and that is Rob Palmer from the Oregon region in that beautiful purple Porsche. And he's out there on the track trying to get things underway for him, as he is going to be starting a pretty decent starting position, but that purple Porsche is definitely going to be one to watch as he sets off in his career in the PCA Sim Racing Series. Of course, this week it is all about racing here at Auto Club Speedway. We had the PCA Series, their challenge, as well as their club class, or sports club class, competing last night on Wednesday. Tomorrow, the pro drivers will battle it out here on Friday. So it's all in preparation, of course, for the California Festival of Speed. That'll be happening on the final week of October 30th through the 31st. A lot of great, exciting action. We hope some of you who are out towards the California area can go and enjoy all things Porsche related in safety, of course. Of course, this series here, this is the PCA Sim Racing Ballast Point entry-level series. So this series is for those who are very new to sim racing and wanting to get their handle in on the way of how to handle racing in the virtual world, or new to the PCA or PCA Sim Racing Series. Some of these drivers are wanting to be able to progress and learn, which the PCA has a lot of great utilizing of teaching tools for these drivers to compete, as well as learn the racing circuit, racing cars, as well as where to utilize certain points on a racetrack, as well as setups in order to improve on their sim racing skills. And this track will definitely test the might of every single one of those drivers. There you see one driver, Shannon McHugh from the Northern Ohio region in car number 15, looking to see if they can get a great finish here tonight in beautiful Auto Club Speedway, just a little bit south of Los Angeles, California. Of course, this will be the last place where we'll see the road course, because we know that the Auto Club Speedway will be converted into a short track here in the coming years here to come up. So it will be interesting to see that it'll be pristinely saved in the virtual world, this road configuration, which is quite actually a fun circuit to drive on if you have the chance to drive on it on iRacing. Of course, you can go on iRacing.com if you don't have it. Give them a try, and you can have the chance to drive on this circuit in a Porsche. Of course, iRacing has a wide variety of other Porsches besides this 911 GT3R, as well as, of course, they have a GT4, the GTE spec of the 911 RSR, and even the LMP1 hybrid, as well as 2 GT3 Cup cars, the newest one based off the 992 model. As warm-up is just about to conclude, and we will give you your starting lineup for tonight's race. It is going to be Enrico Gregorato with a 134.525 that will start on the front row here today, along with the two-time winner this season, James Frasnick. Cyril Bernard will be starting in third, followed by Charles Fieri in fourth position. John Gibson will be starting in fifth, followed by Chris Sari in the sixth position. Rob Palmer, the newcomer, will be starting in seventh, followed by Jeff Ferguson in the eighth position. Steve Komatz will be starting in ninth, followed by Graham Rennie, rounding out your top 10. Moving on down to 11th, Randy Lervold will be starting there, followed by Johan Nye in 12th position. Vincent Parnell will be starting in 13th, followed by Tim Sharrock in 14th. 15th will be Tom Farfaris, followed by Brad Boyd in the 16th position. The last two cars did not take time. That is David Sell and Shannon McHugh. 18 cars lined up behind the iRacing Porsche pace car. We'll get a little bit of about a half a lap of pace car before the pace car will make the hard left turn down pit road and turn these 18 drivers loose for the next 30 minutes or 19 laps. That's the scheduled amount of laps that should be run here in the next 30 minutes. As we give them a few moments, we see a couple of great retro paint schemes out on the track. There you see one of the Flying Lizards cars that is driven by Cyril Bernard, along with another car, John Gibson, who will be driving in those colors. There you see Enrico Gregorato in the Sparco livery paint scheme, getting ready to go racing here. As we watch and get ready for all the racing action, want to say thank you to all who are watching on the Podium Esports Network, along with the PCA's YouTube channel, as we get ready to turn, as well as also on iRacing.com/live. We're happy to have you with us as the pace car makes the hard left turn. It is going to be Enrico Gregorato who will lead them to the green flag. A slow start as we see Barney the flagman waiting. He's going to wait a little bit longer before waving that flag. As we're still waiting, the future stars of the PCA are about to take flight here. Green flag is out, and we are underway here at the Auto Club Speedway. Fields now fanning out to get themselves situated as we see James Frasnick, who will take over the race lead away from Gregorato into NASCAR turns 1 and 2 as they work to the inside. There you see Gregorato holding on to second place. You're on board with Charles Fieri in the 9, but he's going to have a battle for third with Cyril Bernard, who will move into the third. Here comes John Gibson as well. 3-wide battle entering turn 3. It's going to be interesting to see who will survive. A big send by the 28 of Graham Rennie as a couple of cars are around, but they will continue on. I think the biggest loser on that one is going to be John Gibson, who will go around. More trouble as they enter into turn 3, but James Frasnick has checked out on the competition as he has pulled away to about a 1.1 second gap over Enrico Gregorato as they work their way to the first set of chicane. A flat-out corner here that you have to carry some speed through before entering into the hairpin here, which will hit the braking zone. As we see Frasnick having a great drive through there before approaching the next set of chicanes, a very quick one. You can go flat out through with these Porsche 911 GT3Rs before heading down the straightaway through this infield section. Currently you're on board with Steve Komatz in car 21, who is battling on in that 5th position. He has, of course, Jess Ferguson and Charles Fieri battling it out for that 3rd position. Throw in Rob Palmer, the new driver for the series this week, as he is also in the mix as they come out of the final set of corners. And it is James Frasnick who will lead lap number 1 here tonight as he comes across the line at Auto Club Speedway. Currently pulled out to a 1.5 second over Gregorato. Fieri another 2.5 seconds back from him as they work their way across the start-finish line. Big trouble, though, for several drivers. Graham Rennie coming down pit road along with Johan Nye, who have been black flagged for causing incidents in the opening stages of the race. Battling right now as we watch our race leader James Frasnick pull away. There was a battle for the 8th position between Brad Boyd, as Johan Nye has yet to come down pit road. He's letting by some competitors, but Steve Komatz was able to get around Ralph Palmer along with Jeff Ferguson, who has fallen back from that battle as more drivers are struggling. Shannon McHugh has gone around, dropping outside of the top 10 and struggling to get up to speed as you're on board with Ralph Palmer, who is now broken into the top 5. As we watch the field work their way through the back half of the infield section, there you see Palmer. Now Brad Boyd trying to work around the penalized car of Johan Nye. Nye tried to send it in there. Thanks better of it. Continues on his way as they work their way through the next set of chicanes here. Beautiful drive right now for Brad Boyd in that number 13. You're on board with Tom Farfaris from the Upper Canada region, who holds on to that coveted top 10 position here in car number 11. as they enter the second set of chicanes. This one's a little bit more tighter compared to the other previous two chicanes that they had to work through, as they go from that one to another set of tight, twisty corners as they come out of the final set. A couple of cones being knocked out of the way. Our safety crew have to put those back before they come back around. Currently on board with the Golden Gate region's very own Chris Sari, as he's working his way up inside the top 10. Currently sits in ninth as Steve Komatz has come down pit road, as he will be serving a penalty along with John Gibson. So tough break for those two drivers as they will have to serve the penalty. Tom Farfares now moves up to the ninth position as he tries to chase down Tim Sharrock, who is just up the road. They're entering into turn number 3. Of course, Tim Sharrock in that beautiful Martini livery Porsche in the 924. From the Gold Coast region, of course, so a strong run for him early in the going as he moves up into the 8th spot, sets his sights on Chris Sari in the 17 car. No changes up front as James Frasnick has pulled away to a 3.5 second lead over Enrico Guerrato as he works his way through in car 76, the Suncoast Florida region driver, showcasing his talent underneath the California sun, as the Pacific Northwest driver will try to chase him down here as he comes across the finish line, completing lap number 3. Charles Fieri sits in the 3rd position right now as we have the battle for 9th position. Theo Bernard will get around Tom Farfares for the position to move him up a spot. A strong run right there as they work through the final few set of corners. Biggest mover right now has to go to car 13. That is Brad Boyd, who started in the 16th position, has moved up to 6th position. So 10 spots gained for the Hill Country region, and he is not done yet as Brad Boyd moves up into 5th position, getting around Jeff Ferguson. So a strong drive for Brad Boyd. Will this be the sign of things to come for him as he works his way down into NASCAR's turns 1 and 2 before hitting the braking zone of turn 3, sends it in there. Big contact though from behind. That's Ferguson who will send him around as trouble happens in turn 3. We knew that's a trouble zone that we'll see a lot of action happening, and it happened once again involving Brad Boyd. Let's see what happens when we get back out on the racetrack. The answer will be yes, as Shannon McHugh along with Rennie Lervold will come into view. And then right behind you'll see Brad Boyd, who has now dropped all the way back to 12th position. A tough heartbreak award right there for him as James Frasnick, we're going to take on board with a lap with a little bit of lap traffic in front of him, but we'll see what happens here as we come up onto the main front straight here at Auto Club Speedway. We're going to watch and see as he comes across the line to start the lap. He's going to then just carry that speed and momentum all the way down through NASCAR's turns 1 and 2, hitting speeds of over 155 miles an hour. Going to be pushing probably close to 160 before having to enter the braking zone of turn number 3. Coming out of turn 2, you're going to then set your sign up right about here to start braking as you dive it into turns 3. Hug the inside lane as best you can before coming into turn number 4, hugging the apex. Next, you have a short chute before approaching the double apexes of turns 5 and 6. You're going to track into the apex, then track out a little bit, get a little bit of momentum to build before hitting the second apex out of turn number 6. Hopefully the lap car will give them a little bit of room as they approach the quick corners of turns 7 and 8, as you're just going to go flat out through here before approaching turn number 9. A tight hairpin. Break it down, hug the inside apex as best you can before coming to the next set of chicanes of turns 10 and 11. Quick left-right before heading down the short chute here to turns 12, 13, 14, and 15. A very intricate complex of corners. As you enter into turn 12, you're going to hit your marks here, hug the apex into turn 13 and 14. Before coming through turn 15, hugging that a little bit more speed carry. 16 is going to be a little interesting to watch out for. And then finally, out of the final 2 corners, you're just going to go flat out here and carry it all the way to the start-finish line, as you see James Frasnick does, currently 2.7 seconds ahead. With that, that completes your lap here at Auto Club Speedway. A strong performance for him as he continues on his way. Currently, you're on board with car number 8. That's Randy Lervold, who sits in the 9th position after starting. Looking at timing and scoring, Randy Lervold actually moved up quite a bit here in the going as he's looking to see if he can gain a few more spots after starting 11th. Charles Vieri and his very bright red Porsche from the Potomac region having a good run right now. He started in 4th, so only gained 1 position since the start of this race, but looking to see if he can make some more improvements. And I'm kind of interested to see what that paint scheme is on his Porsche as he's trying to catch up to none other than Enrico Gregorato for 2nd position. A little bit of rock star style racing right there with the ice cold. Is it a Coca-Cola or a Cola style drink? That's interesting. But a very lively paint scheme. There goes the cones right there. Many cones lost their lives here tonight, as well as all throughout the week here at Auto Club Speedway, and more will probably continue to be knocked out of the race course tomorrow night as well. Looking for some interesting battles that we may have on the track. Currently, everyone's kind of pulled away from each other, giving each other plenty of racing room to continue racing here. 20 minutes left to go on the clock, as we have the battle for P11 between Vincent Parnell and Steve Kovacs. Of course, Vincent from the Metropolitan region in that number 2 blue Porsche. Looking to have a strong finish here inside the top 10 as he's just 1 position away from Shannon McHugh, but he's got to gain another 10 seconds before having a shot at a top 10 here as they work their way through that quickly chicanes before entering into the hairpin. So big news development for Randy Lervold for P8. He started on pit road after missing the grid and was able to gain all the way up inside the top 10. A strong drive for him as he was able to do that. Of course, he had a little help from some mistakes from other drivers, but a strong performance there by Randy Lervold. There you see on board with Randy as he works his way into the infield section of the course. Of course, we were having a little bit of trivia last night regarding some Porsche victories here at this circuit during their first ever event that the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series competed in here in 2002. They raced here all the way to 2005, and Porsche collected quite a few victories and wrapped up a few championships, as a matter of fact. Especially one famous Porsche team, the Park Place Motorsports Group, as well as the Racers Group, Team TRG, took home the first ever victories with Porsche at this circuit back in 2002. As they continue to work their way through the circuit, 8 laps have been completed, 18 minutes left to go on the clock. As we see, James Frasnick has pulled out to a 3.1 second advantage over the field. Here's a good battle still going on between Kovacs along with Vincent Parnell. Kovacs gets to the inside, but may have to give him room. No, contact, around they go. Kovacs hard into the wall. Tough break for Kovacs. I think he should have just waited a little bit longer before making that pass. Frasnick, though, has able to pull away for 3 seconds over Enrico Gregorato. As we see here, this is Tim Sherrock, I believe. As we're going to see who will hit that cone right there in the front. That's the target for these drivers. As they work their way. Ooh, there goes Frasnick, does a complete wipeout. As they continue on their way, Frasnick taking those cones out, as there you see they reappear again, and a couple of more drivers will not reluctantly take some of those cones away. Ooh, close call right there for none other than Rob Palmer, the newcomer. Have to give a big shout out to our cameraman, Dougie Beard, who was able to give you all these amazing camera angles, as you're able to see some great coverage, some great pictures that Dougie was able to work on, to where you could see when the cones get exactly hit, as it's great work, and of course some great production work as well by our producer tonight, Ryan Bauer. There you. As James Frasnick is now trying to continue to pull his lead away by 6 seconds over Enrico. As they continue to pull away here, we are approaching the halfway point of tonight's race, but we still have about another minute or so before that happens. Of course, since we are here at Auto Club, we will here in a few moments after the midway point of tonight's race have a few moments to talk about a special event here at the Auto Club Speedway, the California Festival of Speed. That's going to be happening on October 30th through the 31st this year, and it's going to be exciting. I hope for those of you who live out on the West Coast get the chance to go out there to celebrate, of course, all things Porsche, as we will be also wrapping up the championship for the Porsche Club Racing Series that is held all across the United States and Canada, as they will wrap up the 37 different champion classes that are in the PCA Club Racing. As there goes Rob Palmer taking a wide variety of cones, hard impact into the tire barrier, as Palmer will be able to continue on his way, no damage to his nose at all, as we're on board with Tim Schrock. Tim Schrock, of course, always having that beautiful martini-colored paint scheme. And with that, as the field crosses over into the halfway point of tonight's race, it is time to bring you the Midway Race Report, brought to you by Ballast Point Brewing Company. Ballast Point Brewing is based in San Diego, California. Ballast Point Brewing started in 1996 as a small group of homebrewers who simply wanted to make great beer, evolved into the team of adventurers known today as Ballast Point, a pioneering brewery born 25 years ago within the hallowed hopped walls of San Diego's homebrew Mart. The complete art of the craft swims in the DNA of Ballast Point and informs both what's inside and on the can. From bringing a hoppy twist to a porter, or adding 4 types of malt to its amber ale, to creating the breakthrough gold medal winning Sculpin IPA, Ballast Point is known for adding its touch and asking if there's a better way. For more information on Ballast Point Brewing Company, including a list of tasting room locations, visit their website at www.ballastpoint.com. James Frasnick from the Suncoast, Florida region. The Florida man will continue to lead the way here after starting in the second position. He has gotten it and never looked back. A little bit of lap traffic, though, gets in his way. He will, though, continue on. In second place from the Pacific Northwest region, Enrico Gregorato currently was your pole sitter, but has lost the lead and sits in that second position, 6.9 seconds back. He started fourth. He's running third. Car number 9 from the Potomac region, Charles Fieri, leads the way, rounding out your podium finishers. Fourth position, after starting in 7th position, the rookie of tonight's race, Rob Palmer from the Oregon region, having a great run here tonight as he is keeping it clean in that purple machine. In 5th position from the Golden Gate region, Chris Sari is rounding out your top 5 after starting in the 6th position. The Flying Lizards Motorsports colored Cyril Bernard number 88 Porsche from the Northeast region started in 3rd, lost 3 positions as he runs in the 6th position. He's gained 7 positions since the drop of the green flag after starting 14th. Car 924, the Martini-colored Tim Schrock from the Gold Coast region is running in 7th position. Currently in the 8th position, he started 11th. That's Randy Lervold, but started from pit road actually, so made major headway here tonight as he will continue to see if he can gain more. He started 16th. He has gotten as high as 5th place, fell all the way back outside the top 10. He currently runs 9th. It's the Hill Country region's very own Brad Boyd on a recovery drive here late in the going. He's the first car one lap down, though, but rounds out your top 10. That's Vincent Parnell from the metropolitan New York region after starting in 13th. Next up in 11th position from Canada West region is Graham Rennie in car number 28 after starting in 10th position. 12th position, he had a couple of issues, but the red, white, and blue Porsche of Jeff Ferguson from the Ohio Valley region in car number 12 currently runs in the 12th position after starting in 8th. Car 141 of Johan Nye from the Potomac region, recovering from a penalty, is now sitting in 13th after starting in 12th. He ran into trouble during one of the chicanes there after some contact, as the Rocky Mountain region, Steve Komatz is running 14th after starting 9th, looking to see if he can get back inside the top 10. In the 15th position, in the second Flying Lizards Motorsports car, the Rally Sport region's very own John Gibson in car 14 started in 5th position and now runs 15th. 16th position in car number 15 is Shannon McCune from the Northern Ohio region in that orange, black, and white Porsche. Let's see if they can be able to build up a little bit and gain some time here as the laps continue to wind down. 17th on pit road right now from the Upper Canada region is Tom Farfaris in the Pfaff Motorsports colored Porsche. Hopefully we'll be able to join the track here later in the going. And rounding out your 18 car field is David Sell, who started 17th, runs 18th. And with that, this concludes tonight's Midway Race Report, brought to you by Ballast Point Brewing Company. For more information, including the list of tasting room locations, visit their website once again at www.ballastpoint.com. And with that, you won't miss anything, but we're going to go side by side. You are watching the PCA Sim Racing Ballast Point Entry Level Series here on Podium Esports. Welcome back to Podium Esports coverage of the PCA Sim Racing Ballast Point Entry Level Series, as James Frasnick is still your race leader here. 8 minutes just about left to go on the clock. He held a 8-second lead over Enrico Gregorato, as we're going to take a look at a battle happening for that 5th position between Rob Palmer and Cyril Bernard. They're on board with Cyril as they exit out of turn 2, entering turn number 3. Palmer trying to hold off Cyril. Bernard trying to get a good run out of turn number 3. Gets a good run as they approach that long sweeping corner. He'll look to the inside. Will he send it in there? The answer will be yes, and completes the pass. A beautiful job by Cyril to get into the top 5 as Rob Palmer goes a little bit too wide out of there, but will still stay hot on the tail of that Flying Lizard. Of course, while we were watching here, you're on board with Rob Palmer trying to close down the gap between him and Cyril Bernard down the short chute before entering the back half of the course. He's going to send it in nice braking zone as he tries to hug the apexes as best that he can. It's going to be a great battling here as these two continue to battle in the closing stages of tonight's race. Of course, one of the things that we were going to talk about is, of course, the California Festival of Speed, as you're on board with Brad Boyd it's going to be a wonderful race. It's a 20th annual event, and after last year during the COVID outbreak in 2020, the PCA, of course, held the virtual California Festival of Speed that had 3 different classes of racing happening, which involved the Roof Track R12 GT car, along with the Porsche GT4 car that we see on iRacing, including also the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car, which we saw several different winners compete. You can catch all the replays of that. But if you have the chance, there's a lot of great racing action happening at the Auto Club Speedway. And it's once again the championship round for the PCA Club Racing of America, as they will be racing their 37 different classes racing at Auto Club next weekend. As we watch the clock continue to wind down, 5 minutes, 40 seconds for your race leader, James Frasnick. He has pulled it to a 9.7-second lead. This is the battle for 8th position between Brad Boyd and Randy Lervold that you see on screen. Brad has been making momentous time gains right now, running 2 seconds faster than Randy as they are approaching that tight hairpin. He will take a peek to the outside, can't make it work. Will he get the momentum he needs off corner exit? The answer is going to be not quite enough as they continue on. As by the looks of it, we may have we will have a total number of cones that have been hit later tonight. We're still counting those, but we're currently at 175 now as 2 more cones just have got hit there on screen. And now 178. I think if we just leave it right here, we could maybe hit 200 before it's all said and done. So as we watch on here, watching the battle, here comes James Frasnick taking 3 more cones. So we're now at 181, 183. I feel like now we're going to be counting cones here as 2 more cones goes by here in the final minutes. Oh, thank you. We have to now give a big thank you to our producer, Ryan Power, on giving us the total cones lost on there. 184 cones have been misplaced since the start of tonight's race, and that just makes me just wonder how many more we will lose tomorrow night when the club and pro classes battle it out here at the Auto Club competition road course here. As the drivers continue to battle here, this is Randy Lervold and Brad Boyd battling. Boyd will look to the inside. Lervold will shut the door on them as they enter in. You got to hug that corner as best you can, but make sure you have enough momentum to carry you down this straightaway here as they work through this tight chicane and then back on the throttle here as he can utilize the slipstream just a little bit through these sections. You most likely will use it coming onto the oval section where it will count significantly as he hits his points as best he can through these final few corners. A great drive as a couple of more cones go flying through the air. As we have a little bit of a pit report coming out from some of our drivers that the cones have caused very periodic damage to some of their drivers here as they continue on. The high mortality of cone counts will just only continue throughout the rest of the week's actions as we've seen multiple cones suffer severe casualty. We'll actually have a cone hospital ready for these cones once the race is over to get them ready for the next event tomorrow night. Currently at 199. Oh, so close to 200 right there. Will we get 200? Oh, we just been confirmed. Breaking news here from Race Control. 204 cones have lost their lives here at the Auto Club circuit. And more are still yet to come. There's another 5, I would believe, so make that 209. As we now just see the input put on their screen live for you. As we are on board here with Brad Boyd, who is still trying to hunt down Randy Lervold. We should be seeing the white flag as we are closing in on the final moments. James Frasnick now coming through the final set of corners here. They're actually closing in on lapping Brad Boyd as, trouble in front of them. Steve Komatz loops it around. He continues on as they come out of the final corner. Their lap times are normally 1:34, so this should be the white flag lap for your race leader, James Frasnick. 1:15 left on the clock. Yes, indeed. Barney the flagman waving the green white flag for the final time here as he works his way through here of NASCAR turn 1 and 2. Brad Boyd trying to find the speed he needs to hunt down Randy Lervold, but it might be too little too late here. He has a couple more opportunities as they enter turn 3. Watching on, there's your race leader, James Frasnick, right behind them as they work through the sweeping hairpin. Up turns 4 and 5, out of there they'll go. A little bit wide for Boyd. That's going to cost him some valuable time. There's Frasnick in your screen. This is the best battle on the racetrack, plus also shows your race leader closing in as they work through the short chicane here into the tight hairpin. They still will have one more lap if they can keep Frasnick behind him. So we'll come back to them here momentarily if the battling still progresses. Meanwhile, James Frasnick has just absolutely been on the absolute cruise control. He's been cruising here in sunny California all season long. This will be his third win of the season in the Ballast Point entry-level series. Through the final few corners, will he not take a cone out? The answer is going to be no. He will not take any cones with him. This time, out of the final corner. Checkered flag is in the air, and for the third time this season in a row, James Frasnick from the Suncoast, Florida region will win here at Auto Club Speedway. Great and beautiful drive as we now go back on here for the battle for P7. Randy Lervold still holds on over Brad Boyd as they now enter into the infield section for the final time. Into turn 3. Will Boyd have anything for Lervold, or will Lervold hold on for this final lap? Here they come up to turn 4 and 5. There's still a close battle between the two. Boyd holds on right now. Will he have the momentum he needs to carry him to gain the time up? Out of that long sweeping hairpin, they set their sights to the short chicane. Now approaching into turn number 9. Quick left, right, indeed they'll go into the hairpin. He sends it in a little bit deep, but not close enough to make anything happen just yet as they come out of the hairpin. Now into the next set of chicanes they'll go. It's still Lervold holding strong over Boyd as they come down the short chute for the final few corners. The rest of your field is crossing the start-finish line as Gregorato and Fieri will come home second and third. Through the final corners, Boyd trying everything he needs to find that speed to carry him to possibly get the position. Out of the final set of corners, he has gained time, but is it too little too late? I think it's safe to say yes, it will. Randy Lervold will hold off Brad Boyd for the 7th position here tonight. And as the rest of the field works their way across the start-finish line, we will go ahead and give you your full field rundown as the field has gone around to complete tonight's race. It is James Frasnick who will win by an amazing 15 seconds over Enrico Gregorato. Charles Fieri will come home in third. Fourth position goes to Cyril Bernard, followed by Rob Palmer with a wonderful debut finish of 5th position. Tim Chirac will come home 6th, followed by Randy Lervold in 7th. Brad Boyd, the last car on the lead lap, will come home 8th. Graham Rennie, the first car one lap down, will come home 9th, followed by Vincent Parnell in 10th position. 11th will go to Johan Nye, followed by Jeff Ferguson in 12th. 13th goes to Chris Sari, followed by Steve Komatz in 14th. John Gibson will come home 15th, followed by Shannon McHugh in 16th. Tom Farfaris, 17th. David Sell rounds out your 18-car field. We're going to take a quick break, but well, we're not going to take a break. We're actually going to now talk to your race winner, James Frasnick. He goes back to back to back and wins here for the third race in a row he's entered. And it's a very exciting as he continues to build on his PCA sim racing experience. Definitely going to be one to watch if he is selected to compete in the challenge class next series. Give him a few minutes to get himself all set up, ready to go. As we want to make sure that his microphone is working, of course. There he is. James, you've gone 3 races in a row, and you started on the front row and have taken home the checkered flag. How do you feel about this?
It's an interesting track. I thought it was pretty easy to learn, but really difficult to master, especially some hairpin. And yeah, it's a tricky track a little bit. It doesn't seem like that immediately, but once you really start pushing it, yeah, it's hard to start knocking, tenths of seconds off at a certain point.
It certainly is. What would you have to say be the most challenging point of this circuit?
I have a really, really tough time. I don't know what it's that high speed right turn where you come into the hairpin. I'm still playing around with that. It's like I don't ever do it perfectly or the same way every time. I tried to be consistent, but yeah, I feel like I'm losing time there. And then the chicane coming through the high speed oval part, that left turn coming through there. And then the chicane towards the end before you get back onto the oval. You have to be pretty precise on that. I've always had a difficult time carrying momentum through turns, and I think that you really need to do that in some places, and my skill's just not really where I want it to be at on that. So
well, on that note, then we leave Auto Club and we head to Sonoma for the next round. Your thoughts on racing on that circuit?
Oh man, I was practicing that the other night. That's a roller coaster. That's going to be fun. But honestly, dude, I'm looking forward. Even the practice sessions, I look forward to jumping on and and having other guys. Really appreciate all the other racers that join and make all this happen, and it's really fun.
Well, James, before we let you go, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
Yeah, actually, I haven't thanked Ballast Point, the sponsor, yet. So big thanks to them and all the admins as usual.
Well, that is James Frasnick, who will be your winner here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. A great drive as we now speak to our second place finisher, Enrico Gregorato. Enrico started on pole, was not able to hold on the race lead, but still managed to come home second. How do you feel about your performance here tonight? As we will get a double check on that.
Sorry, I am here.
Oh, well, Enrico.
Yeah, it's great. It's only my second race with the PCA, and I'm so happy about this result. Yeah, I messed up the start, so that's just how it went. But James definitely had a lot more pace than me, so overall it's pretty good. I think I got no incidents, so really happy.
Certainly, indeed. And your thoughts? Yeah, and that is confirmed. You are the driver who had no incident points in tonight's race. So a very strong performance for you. Your thoughts, though, on racing at this virtual circuit with these cars, your thoughts on how the cars feel when driving at this circuit?
A week ago when I first did my first laps here, I had a rude awakening. It was really tough. But with a bit of practice and learning the lines, a bit of help from the PCA guys, coaching, I think this circuit is great. It's really fast. There's hard braking, really technical. It's a great circuit, actually.
Well, Enrico, before we let you go, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
Yeah, of course, my family, who are no doubt watching this. Also, the PCA sim racing folks who do such a great job of putting this together and running the show. The sponsors, of course, and you guys for doing such a great job with the broadcast.
Of course. We look forward to seeing you at the next round at Sonoma next Thursday night. That is Enrico Gregorato, who will come home in second place. And our final driver who will come home on the podium in third is Charles Fieri. Charles, a strong performance for you, starting inside the top 5, coming home third. What is it like to drive on this circuit here?
It's pretty exciting. It's like a giant autocross. I really like killing the cones, and it's a lot of fun to figure it out.
All right, be honest. How many cones do you think you hit?
Oh, they are legion. I would say a good 5-10 a lap.
That's pretty impressive right there. I would have to say that you were able to keep that many numbered. That is at least 100 cones. That's impressive. And talk to us a little bit about your paint scheme that you have driving here tonight with us.
That is an homage to the Fallout game series. That's the Nuka-Cola car there.
Nice. I will have to say that's a pretty impressive paint scheme. And before we let you go, your thoughts on the next round at Sonoma?
I got to be honest, I have never really looked at Sonoma before, but I've heard it's a bear, so it's time to go check it out.
Certainly is indeed. You got a week to get ready for it. Before we let you go, though, anyone you would like to say thank you to?
Just thanks to my wife for being supportive, and everybody else here in the league, Doug, Leaf, Curtis, all the guys. It's been really great.
Of course. Well, congratulations on your podium finish. That is Charles Fieri, who will come home in third position. As we come to a close here tonight, but we have more great, exciting racing still to come here at the Auto Club Speedway as Series 7 of the PCA Sim Racing Series presented by Haggerty, event number 4, will continue at the Auto Club circuit, where we see the club and pro classes competing live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/PCA Sim Racing and iRacing.com/live. A big thank you to the steering committee at the PCA Sim Racing. Also, a huge thank you to our team tonight, Ryan and Dougie. And of course, none of this is possible without those behind the scenes at Podium Esports: James Pike, Gary Sexton, Cisco Scarmuza, and John Theodore. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the PCA Sim Racing Series presented by Haggerty Motorsports. I'm Taylor Burris. We hope to see you tomorrow night, once again, from sunny California.